As part of its 10th anniversary celebration, Chester Engineers held its Client Appreciation event on December 5, 2013, featuring special guest speaker Keith Wandell, Chairman, President, and CEO of Harley-Davidson Incorporated, in conjunction with the Chester CEO Leadership Series. George Miles, Chester's board member emeritus, kicked off the event and shared a special tribute to Chester Chairman, CEO, and President Robert Ogbede, who acquired the company 10 years ago.
Bob is the example of the America story. You think about America, immigrants coming to this country, and making a way for themselves, and then growing a business and growing it big. Mr. Ogbede is a great example of that. I'm so proud of him because of that. And Pittsburgh should be really, really proud of what we have here. Is now just an entrepreneur who started from the ground, immigrated here, and now growing a world-class business, and you're now in the world headquarters. It's really, really very special.
As I look back on our journey here, I call it the journey, and I think George touched on a little bit of that journey. And that journey really, started from a place in West Africa called Lagos, Nigeria, where I was born, to my journey in my platform shoes and my big afro to a place called Butte, Montana. And as George said, looking for Superfly. I was in my platform shoes. This was 1975, y'all. And it didn't take me long that Butte was not a place for Superfly. And 6 months after that, I ended up in Pittsburgh. Didn't know what I was going to be doing as a young student. I had scholarship here too to Pitt, School of Engineering, and I did graduate from Pitt. Pittsburgh looked much better than Butte, Montana. The glass was half full as opposed to be half empty. And since then, after graduating from University of Pittsburgh, my degrees are mining engineering, and subsequently master's in civil engineering. I made Pittsburgh home. And I thank God that I did. It's been a good ride for us. It has its bumps, but with good friends and folks that have embraced us in this journey, we've made it this far. Now, Chester is not the same Chester we acquired 10 years ago. Chester we acquired 10 years ago was Pittsburgh focused. The new Chester is globally focused. We see ourselves as being able to change the world, maybe from Pittsburgh. We see ourselves being able to be an agent of change from Pittsburgh. We see ourselves touching and sustaining lives globally, maybe from Pittsburgh. So that's the new Chester that we now have. And lately, we've been focusing on what's going on in our region, on shale gas. And I'm pleased to announce that our guys, under the leadership of my good friend Jerry Penland and Sean Register and Andy Stern, we've now come up with a way that we can get shale gas, Marcellus shale or any shale gas, right out of the wellhead, liquefy it, put it on our trailer, and haul it away and generate electricity anywhere we want it to be done. It's a momentous feat.
As one of the nation's top CEOs overseeing the most popular brand of American motorcycles globally, special guest speaker Keith Wandell congratulated and saluted Mr. Ogbede and his team on their continued success through the years. He also shared his leadership experiences with guests.
The company really stands for personal freedom. And there's not a person in the world, whether it's in this country or in any other country, that doesn't want that feeling of personal freedom and their own opportunity to express it in a way that makes it personal to them. And that's what we do, right? And that's what we do in our company, and it is just absolutely been an honor to be part of that. I think what George was sort of alluding to, and I think here a couple years ago, and I'm not going to go into a lot of history and details, but our company was, well, first of all, our company, as you know, is a very high-end discretionary purchase, and so that sort of, in a way, that sort of separates us, from a lot of companies. We're not selling shaving cream and razor blades and things that people need on a daily basis. We're selling high-end, exclusive products that are very expensive and that people have to make a choice, right, to buy. I mean, nobody needs a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, right? And so this story sort of began in the throes of the Lehman Brothers default, when many of us in this country woke up one morning to find out that we thought we had equity in our home and we didn't. To find out that not only didn't we have equity in our home, but that we really were underwater on our mortgage, and everybody knows the rest of the story. And how that story played out for our company is that overnight, a little over 40% of our sales went away. And so that doesn't, you don't need to talk a lot about what that means. But I think the interesting thing, for our company at the time was that because we weren't leading in a way that was meaningful, many of our employees, or I would say the vast majority of our employees, were not even aware of the significance of the problems and the issues. And as George mentioned, I mean, the company was clearly headed into a very dire situation. And our employees now ask me then, they say, well, do you think we would have gone out of business? And I personally don't think, we would have gone out of business. I think the brand's too great. The company's too great. I mean, what happens in a situation like that? As you know, market cap falls, stock price falls, and private equity gets involved, and somebody comes in and buys up the assets, and then who knows where that goes. But nevertheless, that was sort of the backdrop, and so the first thing we did, and this is really the first, in my opinion, and a lot of these things are just simply my opinion and my view, so it doesn't make them right or wrong, but I'm just going to share them with you, is that the first thing that leadership has to do in a company is, and George already mentioned it, it's to set a strategy and a vision for the company. What are you trying to be? What are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go? Because too many of us, we try to do too many things, and we do not effectively and efficiently accomplish any of them. I personally, in my whole career, I've been one who really gets focused on those 2, 3, or 4 really big issues that are really going to make a difference. And we really relentlessly focus on those things and really drive them in a way that I call it, we put the company on a journey to be great.
What resonates with me is that you really need to be an employee-driven company. It's about the employees. You motivate them, you get them energized, because that's really what's going to carry you forward. If you have employees who are disengaged, the company can never move forward. So engaging the employees and getting the workforce motivated, big believer in that. And I was glad to hear that that was what he felt helped turn Harley-Davidson around.
As one of the world's leading-edge engineering and scientific research firms spanning over a century, Chester Engineers provides water, wastewater, and environmental solutions to public and industrial clients worldwide.
In the last couple of months, Chester has been evolving to the point that we now have a very succinct direction as to where we're going. We have Chester Group as the parent company, which I'm now a part of, with Chester Engineers providing engineering services. Now we also have Chester Membrane Technology that provides filtration systems and membrane technology. Now, lastly, but certainly not the least, is Chester LNG, which I am so excited about. A couple of reasons why I'm excited about Chester LNG. I believe Chester LNG will change and touch people's lives. I can see Chester LNG being in Africa, in places where they have no access to energy, where even in this country, we can take gas to places where we can't take it to right now. We've come up with a new way of acquiring gas, transporting gas, and delivering gas to the end user. This is a very mobile unit. It's not a big plant process. LNG is nothing new, but what we're doing is brand new. We're taking LNG in its very small form, getting LNG, for example, from the wellhead, getting gas from the wellhead, converting it to LNG, liquefied natural gas, transporting this in a container, delivering it in a regular truck to our end user. And it could be a power plant, it could be a manufacturing facilities, it could be an ordinary homeowner like us. I am excited. I believe it's going to change the world.
Mr. Ogbede proudly credits his team at Chester with the company's continued growth and success through the years. Many of his executives are excited to be part of a global organization that is providing services worldwide that are designed to enhance the lives of so many people in their communities.
Well, if you look at the Western Pennsylvania right now, I call this the Saudi Arabia, of the 21st century in terms of gas, because we're going to be producing, America will be producing as much gas as Saudi Arabia has been producing oil. So there are plenty of opportunities right now in Western Pennsylvania to take advantage of the oil and gas boom. So most of the projects that we're involved in are targeted towards the oil and gas industry.
Building on the company's strong heritage that dates back to 1910, Mr. Ogbede and his team are enthusiastic about the present and energized about the future.
Well, yes, I am proud. I'm proud of my guys. I'm proud of those I have around me that believe in me. When you have a king, the king is just as good as his chiefs. When the king rises up, the chiefs rise up with him. All of his chiefs rise up. Well, they rise up for two reasons. The first reason is very obvious, out of respect. The second and perhaps the most important reason why they rise is to protect him. They protect him from the enemy's arrows. He can't get to the king because the chiefs are standing. That's what I have. I have very upright and standing chiefs. I have protected me and supported me.
To learn more about Chester Engineers, please visit chesterengineers.com.